I had a job. I was helping someone. They were upgrading their computer. Their 1 terabyte hard drive had filled up, and I suggested to get a SSD because they were using a spinning drive, 7200 RPM, 1 terabyte. I believe it was a Seagate hard drive, and I said, if you upgrade it to an SSD, you'll see a huge performance boost. So I ended up giving them my old SSD that I had in my VR machine, my machine that runs my Oculus VR. What happened was that I ran out of space with all the games that we've purchased with the VR. I mean, these VR games are gigs, 5, 10 gigs in size. They're huge. So what I did was I took my duplicator and I went to their home and I duplicated their OS to that 2 terabyte drive. I wiped it and I put it in their computer and ended up getting this one for the price. You know, there was a huge price difference, but what I was able to get for the 2 terabyte drive, I put towards this one so I can increase my speed, give them that one as a used purchase, and add the games to this. So that's what I'm going to do with this. It's 4 terabytes. It should last me a while. I should be able to put all the games in there. It's a 4 terabyte drive. I'm hoping for the best. I love running the VR off of SSDs. I wish I could run them on the NVMe's M.2 drives. But, you know, it's hard for me to duplicate those if they get corrupted or anything. And it's more, these are much more cost effective than those at this time at 4 terabytes. That's for sure. So I'll leave this at the end. I bought it used at B&H, my favorite store, one of my favorite stores. So I'll have this at the end so you get a detailed look at that. And I'm hoping for this to work well in my drive. One of the nice things with the VR games, you can choose the destination of install. It doesn't have to be on the C main drive. It doesn't have to be, you can choose wherever you want to put it, which is great. I've used these SSDs for years now. They're working very well. It's amazing that my first SSD cost me about $400. And I believe it was 128 gigs. And it cost me $400. And I think the highest speed was 2 and change. So, you know, we've come a long way price-wise, which is great. So I have this at the end also. If it has any information you can use. I don't bother with the, you know, things like this. I'll have this at the end. So this is everything that comes inside. It's just the drive itself and the actual manual. That's it. It's a regular standard 2.5 drive size. It's a 4 terabyte drive. This is all the information on it. I'll start from the 1. Okay. Let me install it on my computer. I'll let you know how it runs. I'm sure I'll be very satisfied since I was using the 2 terabyte version for a long time with this. Now I'm going to be using the 4 terabyte version. And again, well, just in case you've never seen a close-up 2.5 inch drive, this is how all of them come pretty much. The spinning ones will come with a green, like a motherboard of the hard drives. These are basically, imagine a thumb drive, but you open up the thumb drive. The outside part of a thumb drive is a plastic casing. So when you open it up, you'll see a board and the memory on it, and it'll be tiny. And that's a larger version of it is inside here. It's just housing it so that you have the convenience of using using 2.5 inch installs, cables, and stuff, and SATA drives. There's screws here. I mean, mounting holes here, 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 and here. All right, so let's install it. This is my computer in the back. I'll be installing the SSD in there. I don't have a mount or anything, so I'm just plugging it in. I'm just gonna lay it here. Everything's plugged in nicely. This is my VR machine. It's got a 1080 video card in there, Founders Edition, 11 gigs of RAM, an i9 M.2 NVMe 256 gig on the OS. And then I was using another 256 NVMe for the Oculus. But now I have to change that. Oh no, and then I had the games installed on a 2 terabyte SSD also. So now I'll have it installed on the 4 terabytes. All right, let's turn it on. That's where I hang my VR set. Okay, let me go. Should come up. And it's not coming up. Alright, as you can see, everything is filled. So let me see if it's coming up on the administrative, because it might not be formatted. Computer management. And it is not coming up. So it's not connected. I'm gonna have to go into the BIOS. Make sure that SATA connection is set up. It's not there. Okay, so let me do that. Finally came up. Let me see. Here it is. 4 terabyte. I'm going to make this O for Oculus. I'm gonna name it Games. And this is where all my game installs will be. And it's formatting, it should take a second. Okay, let me check the properties, and it's set at games, NTFS, 3.63 terabytes. I will be doing a speed test. So I'm gonna run this Blackmagic disk speed test on the old games drive for, I should have named it G for games. Let me do that. I relabeled it to G drive for games. That's probably more appropriate because I also have Steam and other games that I play on this computer. So let me run it. .517 for read, 450 write, 455 for write. Okay, I hope the video helps.
Thank you.